Today we are reading, Our shirts are different for a reason. You're wearing a shirt you bought here? Well, you must work here, Dan. Huh? Didn't you notice I quit? And scrubs equal mechanic. Let's try to reach 300 likes for this video and make sure you subscribe to enjoy the craziest and the funniest retail stories. For more I Don't Work Here Lady videos, check out the playlist in the description. Congratulations George for the comment of the day, and now is the time to fight Karen. Let's do this. Our shirts are different for a reason. Background: I have been working at a very large shop here in the UK for just under 2 years. And to save myself a headache, I'm going to call it Shopco. At Shopco, each department, chilled, frozen, ambient, fruit and veggies, etc., have their own color and style of uniform. The two I'm going to go into detail with are my uniform and the fruit and veggie uniform. My department at Shopco is the backroom / the van loading, so I am wearing a full black trousers and steel toe cap boots as well as a navy blue polo shirt. A dark blue, different from navy, jacket, and this is important, a high visibility jacket since I am working around and inside vans a lot. The fruit and veggie uniform, on the other hand, is a green polo / jacket with the word fruit and veggie stitched on the back and front of each, and black trousers with casual full black shoes, so we look very different. Another important detail about Shopco is that we are very strict on which members of staff can access different areas of the store, and most areas are locked behind big doors that resemble cages. For this story, it is important to note that no department can access the fruits and vegetables except for people on that department and the managers. On to the story. On this day, my department was very overstaffed, so I was asked by my team leader to go and take cardboard off of shelves to kill a little bit of time. I do this for around 25 minutes in relative peace, and at this point, I am about 4 hours away from food and veggies, so I definitely did not expect the following situation to occur. A typical Karen type came storming down the aisle towards me and my coworker, who immediately went around the corner and gave me a smile, knowing I'd have to deal with this woman's issue, who I shall now refer to as AH. Before she even comes to a stop, she is spouting dribble and nonsense, and she doesn't sound mad or annoyed. But at the same time, she does. Anyway, the conversation goes as follows. You there, come with me, now! Is there a problem, miss? What can I do to help? Don't start mudding off at me, just follow me and do what I ask you to. At this point, I know this woman is a loss cause I just want to get her out of my way so I can go back to work. She takes me down a few aisles to the fruit and veggie department where she again begins to bark orders at me. I am having a party and I need coconut. Get me some coconuts from the back now. I'm sorry miss, but I am not a member of this department. If you wait a few minutes, I can go and grab someone for you who has access to the stock. You work in this store, so you can go and get me what I want. Go and get them now, or I'm reporting you for being lazy and not listening to a customer. Again, miss, there's nothing I can do. I do not have access to the stock belonging to this department. It's all kept in cages that are locked and only members of the fruit and veggies team can carry keys. Then I want to speak to your manager now. I sigh and go and find my manager as well as the fruit and veggie manager and bring them both back towards AH, who is screaming at all three of us before we even make it to her. I am going to summarize what was said. I asked this man to get me some coconuts and he refused and insulted me, and I want him fired. This employee does not have access to any fruit or vegetables. You need to lower your voice, etc. Manager 2 to my manager. This is my employee and I know he will not refuse a customer if he could help. Not because I care, but because I don't do well in conflict. After some back and forth, AH finally shut up and let the fruit and veg manager get her a coconut. But when he came back, he told her we did not have any left, which just set her off again, but that is not important to the story. I got told to go back to my department and continue with work, and I have not seen AH ever since, and hopefully never again. The moral? Just because we work there doesn't mean we are guaranteed to be able to help. Cut us some effing slack. She managed to get 2 managers. Wow, this is the power of a level 100 Karen. She got 2 for the price of 1. That is such a unfortunate situation to be in. If it would be me, I'm pretty sure my manager will be like, hey, why did you waste time with this lady if she wanted an employee from another department? You know I needed you to do something right now and you wasted time for nothing. That is just the story of my life, but it is a bit odd, I think, that they all had these different colors for all these departments. But I will not be surprised if this store is huge, like Costco huge, or even bigger, I guess. But seriously, why would you ask an employee that has a high visibility vest? Like obviously they don't work inside the store. I'm not sure why she insisted to get help from him. It's quite obvious he can help. And if he does, it's because he shops there or have a certain responsibility related to the aisles. Would you have just leave or get a manager if you were in this situation? Let me know in the comments and I will reply to you and to let YouTube know that people actually care about my content. So thank you in advance. You're wearing a shirt you bought here? Well, you must work here then. It was the summer of 2002 and my family was visiting some family in Western Michigan. While we were there, we found ourselves at a novelty shop called Insanity. I think it was called that. I'm probably wrong. My family and I went in there and I bought myself a red Gundam wing shirt because I was really into that show at the time. I bought it right away and wanted to check it out again before vacation was over. So the day we went again, I was wearing the red shirt I bought, intent on finding a few more shirts. I was just about to enter a changing room when I heard a shout. This man walks up to me then, looking red-faced and angry, dragging an embarrassed kid being dragged. I think the kid was 10 or 11, I think. I was not good at telling ages at the time. I want to talk to you, he all but shouted at me. I stepped back, feeling a bit afraid and unable to say anything. My son wandered into your back room. The man kept shouting. He saw those disgusting items for sale. You people need to put a sign up or a door or not effing sell that stuff at all. I shook my head, trying to find my voice. I stammered a lot, but I'm not good at ridding stammers. Forgive me for that. Just pretend that, on my part, a young woman was stammering through these words. I don't work here, I told him. He loomed over me. You are wearing one of the stupid shirts that you all wear. Don't you dare lie to me. I am looking around for help. I am serious. I don't work here. Look at me, he shouted, making me jump and look at him. Don't you lie to me. You guys did not do jack S to cover up your nasty items and you need to go apologize for that. A clerk finally came over. Sir? What? He whirled on him, making me free to dive into the changing room and locking the door. Sir, that lady doesn't work here. But if you do have a problem, you can speak to me. I can assume he looked to where I had been standing and shouted at me to come out and face him like a man. Sir, what seems to be the problem? Bless that clerk for pulling that attention away from me. My son wandered into the back room and saw all of your sex aids. There should be a warning, a locked door, a sign, or something. I did not need my son to see that filth. The clerk sounded confused. Sir, there is a door and it is usually locked and a sign describing what's back there. And that's when the boy softly spoke. I saw the key for the door at the counter and took it. I guess he gave it back because I heard the clerk thanking him for returning it. I bet it was that woman that did it. The dad snarled. You need to fire her right away. She exposed my son to that awful stuff. I do apologize for leaving the key out and I will handle this matter personally. The clerk said it in a calm tone. Good, I want her fired now. After a moment, while I was calming my hurt down, there's a soft knock at the door. He's gone. He just left, the clerk told me. I came out and apparently I had tears running down my face. He got me a tissue, apologized for what happened, and we spoke to the manager. They gave me a pretty good discount on one of the shirts and apologized again. I made a note that if I ever step into that shop again, I am not wearing a Novelty shirt. Never. Didn't you notice I quit? I used to work for an inventory company that was horrendous to work for. The scheduling was fragmented so much, no one slept much. We were like walking zombies. Even a supervisor was expected to work so many hours, he once ran over a drunk woman and killed her. And he almost went to jail because he had been working 22 hours straight, driving in the middle of the night to yet another job to supervise. Our schedules were such as being at the office at 3 a.m., for 8 people to cram into a small van to drive 45 miles to a store, count all the inventory for 6 to 8 hours, and cram back into the van for the hour-and-a-half ride home at 11 a.m. and then be expected to be 60 miles north of that store at 6 p.m. that night. I was scheduled this way for a whole week, for the second week in a row. When I just fell out on the couch one afternoon, and when 6 p.m. rolled around, I said, no, I'm going back to my old day job. They were desperate and hiring again. I had left it for a different opportunity bartending and then a better job managing a store and pub. But those hours got crazy for salary, so I thought I'd try the inventory gig. It was time to get back to sanity and sleeping at night. So I went back to the first job full circle and decided to try to move up in that company instead. Anyway, I just went back to sleep and did not show up to the mall store night gig that night. I never hear from anyone why I did not show up for the rest of the week. I figured they did not care. I'd been fired for a no-show and would just go pick up my last check the following week. About a week later, my phone rings at 4:30 in the morning. It is my regular supervisor that I had worked under and had been scheduled to work on her team all week. I quit showing up 8 days prior, and it was the next Friday and my phone is ringing. It is the supervisor asking me if I was coming in. They were short-handed that morning. Whatever. I actually had to ask her, you haven't noticed I did not show up on your team for 2 shifts a day for the past 8 days and you're calling me now? I guess you didn't notice I quit. Are you kidding me? Guess what? The same dumb lady called me again the following Saturday at 6 a.m. wondering why I was not at work. By call number 3, 2 weeks later, I had to actually threaten her with harassment charges and send a formal letter into the company about harassment to get the same woman to stop calling me in the middle of the night asking me why I did not show up that day. Not the whole weeks before while I was evenly being scheduled. Just those particular days. How many days does one have to stop showing up to work before they figure out I don't work there anymore? I had already picked up my last check and told them in person. Tell this supervisor I quit 2 weeks ago. Scrubs equal mechanic. Apparently, at TA truck centers, my navy blue pharmacy tech scrubs look like the mechanic's uniform. I was walking into the gas station with my husband. He is a mechanic. While in my work scrub, a guy comes out and starts complaining to me that his company called him and yelled at him for being illegally parked. He said that he is not, of course he isn't, and that trucks can get through. I'm sure they can. I let him get done with his rant and I tell him that I don't work here and you need to talk to him, pointing to my husband. He goes through his rant again. Husband tells him where the guy's type of truck is supposed to be and that a driver could have called in. The guy starts ranting again and my husband just tells him, I'm sorry that I can't help you. Then we go into the gas station to get a soda. Apparently, the guy is parked illegally because he's not in an actual parking spot. Hey, did you like this I Don't Work Here Lady video? If you did, check out my playlist right here. I bet you will love it. These videos take me a lot of effort to make, so if you can show me some support by liking and subscribing, this will mean the world to me. Also hit the bell button to know exactly when we post a new video and join the notification gang. Thank you again for watching episode 53 of I Don't Work Here Lady. See ya!